Hey everybody, welcome back to another It Figures review. Today we're going to take a look at this Dragon Ball Gals Chi-Chi China dress version by MegaHouse. So before we take a look at the statue that's in there, first let's check out this gigantic box, shall we? So this is part of the Dragon Ball Gals series, and there's already a few figures that have come out, and then there's more on the way, I believe. I know Bulma's one of them. I forget what the others are. This is my first one, though. And yeah, this is Chi-Chi in the China dress version. I'm not sure what the other version is, actually, but this is the one that I got. Of course, these are all based on the Dragon Ball characters. So we can see Chi-Chi back there, very nicely wrapped up, all safe and sound. But we also have a preview over here, what the statue is going to look like. Now onto one of the sides. Once again, we have a side window showing the figure back there. Dragon Ball Gals, girls figures from Dragon Ball series. And then just some more images of her along the side. And on the other side, we have a nice full panel shot of the Chi-Chi figure. She's looking pretty good there. On the top, nothing too special to speak of, the same information and another window. And on the bottom is actually a kind of an interesting design, just very simple, but it makes the figure really pop out. And then onto the back. We have a preview of the figure here, just rotating it around, showing the different sides. Some good photography there of her. And your usual technical information. Feel free to check out their website if you really want to. Well, that was simple enough, so let's get onto the statue itself. I'm not going to bother taking it out, but there is this kind of colorful insert. I suppose you could use that as a display for the figure, but I'm not going to bother, and there's nothing special behind it. Okay, we've got her sitting right back there, ready to go, but quickly let's just look at her stand. They've got the really old school Dragon Ball from the original series, the font for that, and then in Japanese, Dragon Ball. Very simple, and she just pegs into there, I'm guessing, by her foot. So in her foot, there's actually a higher hole that goes way up, and that's where this one goes in, and then this shallow hole goes right there. There, nice and sturdy. Let's take a closer look at the sculpt work. Starting with her head, they did a good job. There's a lot of little line work here on the hair to give it that Akira Toriyama style. Also all the individual strands, which are a little bit soft actually. At least these outside ones are. The middle, maybe it's a little bit harder. They're all very well done though. She also has the same style going on here, coming out from the sides. There's her tiny hands. You can see the scale here, they're pretty small, but they're well done. I think they've done a pretty good job to capture her likeness and his art style. She might be a little round in the face, but I don't know, I think generally speaking it looks pretty good, it looks pretty accurate. And because this is the China dress version, of course they're going to have this style collar going on. You can see the little ties there, cuts around through there. Got this style collar coming up to her neck. And generally speaking, they've done good with the wrinkles. You can see where it all comes together at her waist. Let's not avoid the obvious. They've made her quite voluptuous, which is kind of the point of this series, but they've done a good job on that. She's definitely on the thicker end of things. The bottom of the dress is flowing out nicely. You can see all the different flaps and things like that. And they've of course given a trim to everything like that. Her legs are well done. They're smooth with just a little bit of sculpting here and there to give it some like muscle tone and definition. There's her ankle, stuff like that. As well as on this one too. Looks good. Chi-Chi's always been a pretty strong character, so it works that she's a little bit built here. As for her shoes, there you go. They're pretty simple, I guess. And the other one there. Yes, she does have sculpted underwear, in case you're wondering. As for the paint, I think her hair is all one color. There doesn't really seem to be any shading variation there. But as you can see, it's glossy enough that it picks up these highlights nicely. Her skin, and I don't know how well this is going to pick up on camera, but like there's a bit of shading in there, for example, and on things like her elbows, just to add some variation. As well as here on the back of her leg, in there, around her butt there's a little bit, and inside here on the ankle, lots of places. They've also gone through the effort of actually adding a gloss to each fingernail on both hands, which is a nice touch. Which probably would have gone unnoticed by most people, but they put in that extra effort. Her wraps are sort of a silky kind of color, I guess. And then the dress itself is actually really shiny. They went all out and got this very metallic looking material like this, and then as well as the red highlights and the waistband. And this continues on into her shoes, which are basically ruby slippers at this point. So there you have it, the Dragon Ball Gals Chi-Chi China Dress version by MegaHouse, from Dragon Ball of course. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below and I'll do my best to help out. Otherwise, see you again next time. Bye bye.